Good morning, story trading VIPs. Not a lot of stock specific news this morning, so we're going to go through a whole bunch of charts of popular stocks in our community. Most of them are official VIP picks that have had dedicated presentations by someone in our community. So we'll do that this morning. Looking at the major indices, you see they're up. We had earnings today from Wells Fargo, BlackRock, and Citi. Wells Fargo and BlackRock missed, Citigroup beat, and how that turns out net for the financials is up 1% on the XLF, and that's obviously giving it helping boost the SPY. You can see, you know what? I'm going to add XLE up here also. Could give a better picture than looking at USO and UNG every morning. So let's actually take a look at XLE. See, that's up. So between XLE and XLF, that can always give you a great hint at what the SPY is going to be doing. So things are up. Look, there's a lot of green on my screen, but I wouldn't get too excited, man. Earnings are coming up now. We're gonna get uh, Monday. There's a couple like Goldman Sachs and Bank of America, I believe, are on Monday, and then we get into the tech earnings over the next 2 weeks. So I would not be so excited here. I'm going to be looking to take some risk off the table today, get more aggressive selling covered calls. And we'll play it like that, at least over here in my portfolio. So we're going to go through a bunch of stocks. I don't think there was any stock specific news to really bring to you this morning. A little bit on CSSE, not a big deal. That's not a VIP pick by anyway. And yeah, all nothing. All right. So we're just gonna look at these stocks. So CTLP is a new VIP pick presented by Mark Gomes yesterday. Fascinating business. Like never thought about vending machine businesses and how that can be profitable. Really exciting changes in the technology to connect it to the internet. Man, my mind was like going a million miles a minute thinking about all the exciting things it could do with real time data from vending machines all over the country. Wow, to me that's super valuable. I didn't buy CTLP yet, but it was a great presentation by Mark. Uh, Good fundamentals, and I think they could have a good future. And even in a recessionary environment. LP. All right. That chart. Let's just look at the chart. Since we're looking at charts, we should look at the major moving averages and everything. So you can see it's been doing pretty well here off the bottom. This is a pattern of very similar to DRIO and RK, actually. To tell you the truth, very similar pattern here. Um, Almost identical DRIO. Above that 20 and 50 DMA, you have resistance at 592, and then the 200 DMA at 750. All right. CLFD. Okay, this is a VIP pick that's been doing great, brought to us by Chris Harbert. We're having an update on it Monday night, 9 p.m. Our weekly meetup will be Monday night this week. Chris Harbert will be coming on, giving us an update prior to earnings. This looks like a massive cup and handle that's forming over here. The earnings report is going to be coming. Well, it says July 20th, so 16. So, okay, so we'll get it in right before the earnings. Okay, so tune in Monday night if you're a VIP to listen to that update on CLFD. We're up on it good if you got in when he gave the presentations. We can talk about some strategies going into earnings. Do you just hold everything? Do you sell covered calls? Do you take some off the table? So we'll be talking about that Monday night. PLAB. Okay, so this is one of the things I've been talking about is I've been shifting my approach to go more into selling volatility because nothing is holding, no price gain. If you're like a swing investor or long-term investor, even these money rotations coming in and out of different sectors, they like give it all back after a few weeks, and then it's a different sector, and it's just like a hot potato, and everything goes back to where it was. It's very hard to trade. So even a great company like PLAB that blew out earnings, it should probably be in the mid 20s if there was no recessionary fears. Very volatile. So what I've been doing, I've been trying to sell more cash secured puts and covered calls as a strategy to make money, and it's been working out great. PLAB, I might actually sell more puts on that today, possibly. Well, look, we're going to look at a bunch of charts because the ones I sold last month, I bought it back for a nickel yesterday. or 2 days ago. So I could sell cash secured puts on air, and there's air. Okay. So air doing pretty well. Earnings are next week. So now we can have some event anticipation. They were at a conference the other day. This might have been in reaction to the conference, but they have earnings next week and above the 50 DMA. So I sold puts that give me a 675 purchase price in case the trade goes bad. That's my worst case situation. I buy at 675. Otherwise, I get like something like 100% annualized return on the money I'm getting on the cash that's set aside for that purchase. So that's air. Celsius, I've been selling covered calls on, and I'm going to lose the stock today, actually. I sold $70 covered calls for $3.50. So I ended up making a good profit on this particular trade. So what am I going to do today, right? Possibly I will sell puts on this today. I'll have to look at it. Sell cash secured puts now that I'm losing the stock. That's called the wheel, right? You buy a stock, you sell covered calls on it. If it gets taken away from you, you sell cash secured puts. And actually, the wheel starts by selling cash secured puts, I believe. Then you get the stock and you sell covered calls. But anyway, it's a cycle. That's why it's called a wheel. So possibly I will be selling puts on this. We'll see, or maybe just holding cash going into the uncertainty of earnings for the next week or two. RELL, another great stock VIP pick. Not doing much with this, but who knows? Maybe I'll look into selling covered calls going into the next 2 weeks. I think next 2 weeks could be pretty rocky. So that's another one. DRIO. Okay, let's just review this chart. The news hasn't come. I wasn't expecting anything today. It's Friday. Monday, always a great time for if a company wants to get attention over big news. So possibly the news comes Monday. I'm not like holding my breath anymore. At this point, it's been a little bit of a buzzkill. 15 days into July, the deal was supposed to finish June 30th. So I don't know when it's going to come. Hopefully, whenever it comes, let's look at the chart. So I've been saying the two resistance levels are 770, which is right up here. And now the 200 DMA is below 10. It's 972. And you gotta figure maybe even 680 is a little bit of a resistance, more recent. But if we get that news, listen, I'm lowering my expectations a little bit of what can happen here. Given price action with other stocks on catalysts, on big catalysts, I think it's probably highly unlikely the stock's gonna like gap above the I think probably 770, 775 is going to be a strong resistance level. Depending on the news, we'll have to look at the news, see what it says, see how specific they are about numbers and things like that. And if it looks great, maybe it pulls back during the day, 775, challenges it again in the afternoon, and maybe makes a multi-day or multi-week run to the 200 DMA. So, yeah, lowering my expectations just a little bit. It's very possible you hit that 770 resistance and you pull back, and then you can end up getting a great entry like in the sixes after you get awesome news, right? So who knows how that works out? We'll just have to play it by ear and read the press release and understand the importance of that news if it even happens, right? At this point, 2 weeks late. Oh, do I see Kodak up this morning? It is a little bit of a bid this morning. How many shares? No, not too significant. The 493 bid, 1,100 shares. So someone's bidding a little bit. I don't know. That's probably just an algo because the QQQ was up, I think, close to 1%, right? Let's just double check that. QQQ, yeah, 0.93%. RK, 1.35%. So getting a little bit of bid in some of these more liquid names in pre-market here. That's what we're seeing with Kodak. So Kodak, you can see the 200 DMA resistance at 540. At this point, I have no expectation that any stock will really break out of their key resistance levels. Nothing has. It's just it's basically sell the resistance levels. VTSI, this did not work out. This did not break here, unfortunately. That's a 50 DMA, 495.5. Hey, do you know what did work out? I sold $5 covered calls expiring today at 30 cents, at between 20 and 30 cents, a bunch of them, a good amount. Over half of my trading shares, I sold cars. That reduced my cost. It's actually, even at 466 now, I'm still making money on those trading shares I started buying. I bought trading shares between like 476 and 496, and then I sold covered calls $5 covered calls for 20 to 30 cents. So hey, look, that's what you got to do in this environment. So volatile, things aren't breaking out. You got to sell calls and puts. All right. What else we got? SMSI. I really think this thing is just going to move with the market with a combination of RK and QQQ and IWM until or unless earnings really hit that top and bottom line. I don't think that this is unless there's a huge PR and huge marketing push by T-Mobile or AT&T, which I guess is possible, but perhaps not imminent. We'll have to see. But that's the story with SMSI as far as the technicals you can see. It's this 50 DMA pushing it all the way down. So if you have a close above the 50 DMA, that's when you can get a little bit bullish and look at higher resistance levels. CFVI been a big, huge disappointment for me, unfortunately. Now it's above the 20. I never sold this thing. I was just, oh man, I got in early, went to 18, never sold it. Oh well, all right. Anyway, still got it here. Broke the 20 DMA, 4 candles in a row. It's above it. There's some hope here now with the Twitter deal. Dead temporarily, at least, that we get some sentiment tailwinds on CFVI. But look at this, 10 to 1050. I mean, not a lot of money to make here, honestly. So that's the story. CFVI has not been great. INMB, we don't talk about this a lot, but this is a VIP pick by Dan Carlson. Look at that, 200 DMA pulled back, right? In fact, what did it? High was 1050. Went up a lot, man, from the 50 DMA to the 200. This stuff is so accurate. It's scary. So 50 to 200 pulling back. And yeah, do we get a breakout? Probably not in this environment unless they have like some game-changing news. And we saw that starting to pull back yesterday. Probably I wouldn't be surprised to see this head to like $8 or $9. That 11, disregard that. That's just nothing. Probably one share or something like that. All right. KMPH, a stock that Chris has been putting on our radar, Chris Harbert, who gave us CLFD. We've known about this for a while. We did a lot of collaboration on this last year, although I don't think there was ever officially a presentation. I don't think it's being tracked as a VIP pick. No one actually stepped up to the table on that, aside from the great collaboration we did in the chat rooms. But in any case, KMPH is very, very low EV. There's a biotech stock. They have an approved drug out there. 173 million market cap. So we're gonna maybe look into this more. I like the chart that broke the 20 to the 50, and it's like we showed you before 50. It's a time frame that you don't know, right? Could that take? Sometimes it takes days, sometimes weeks, sometimes months, and sometimes it doesn't always happen, right? But that's a KMPH is now on our radar. We'll continue chatting about it in our community and seeing if there's an opportunity there. Oxy, not a VIP pick. I'm throwing it in because just on my own because I've been trading it with Warren Buffett. And what I've been doing the last few weeks is selling $60 covered calls every Friday, and it's been so profitable. There was 1 week where I took a small loss on it, and I did that rather than meaning the stock went up. It was like $62, $63, and I sold the calls for like $150. So I took a small loss on it in order to keep the stock, in order to sell the following week's covered calls, and it worked out brilliantly, and I made all that money that's expiring that's going to be worthless this week. In fact, I'll probably buy back at a nickel this week and sell next week's $60 covered calls. So next week's $60 covered calls is going to be, look, they're already 95 by 99, so they're going to be over $1 this morning because the stock's up over $1. So that'd be great if I can sell them for like $2. So I may do that first thing in the morning. I might buy back the calls expiring today for a nickel, and then sell next week's for closer to $2. So actually, there we go. Working in real time. Gonna get a pen and write it down so I don't forget. At the open, Oxy, we're gonna close for a nickel and sell next week 60, hopefully for close to $2. Probably be closer to 170 or something. All right. And that's all we got time for this morning. Actually, we got to look at, I still have, all these are like small trades. The stuff we talk about, I'm totally out of LLKKF, by the way, after that short report. But GOEV. Oh wow, that made a huge bounce back this morning. We got to look at that. But like things like GOEV and XXII and AGRX and CYRN, these are small positions. They're not my core positions. This is stuff I do trades on, and it's been hard making money like that. So yeah. But anyway, GOEV had this cup and handle forming, and I guess it's keeping that cup and handle formation. The pre-market put it in jeopardy. Wow, lots of volatility. I wonder if there was news there. There was not for the drop, no news. So possible there was no news for the pop. But you guys all know the story. We've been talking about this a lot yesterday. So good to see this chart back in play for the open, keeping that cup and handle pattern. If we break 5, I think 6 is going to be the target. So I'm still in this, held it overnight. I've been trying to sell. I sold some at 490 yesterday, 491, but I bought back between 430 and 470. I bought back. I'm not sure what my average was on the buyback. So GOEV looks like that trade is potentially working out, but I'm not going to be counting on a break above 6 break. They just don't happen. These breaks do not happen. Breakouts are not happening. They're not happening. What can I tell you? All right. So that's all we got, guys. Monday night, VIP weekly meetup, CLFD for our VIPs. If you want to sign up, go to StoryTrading.com, and we'll see you there. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.